doing? Sorry,
I think 2010 I was still working in the mining industry. I was working for the one of the big mining industries in Witbank as a superintendent that you find in government. Then they are advertising that the social facilitation work, like I think the last project I did on social facilitation was a project by Nkangala district where they were building a water reticulation thing, Everina.
Okay.
And they appointed a number of social facilitation companies. We had to be there to be able to help communities understand what the project is all about, how is it going to benefit them, what impact.
And then later
on, I'm looking, hey, everybody, it's a hype. Everybody, they are doing business. So why not? If it's an opportunity opened by the current government that as a Black person, find your space now, get a niche into that, why not? You don't want to regret in few years and say, I should have done, So it's better to just get on it. You learn moving. Because a lot of people have to learn going. We did not know anything about businesses. Those opportunities were not applicable at our times, right? And suddenly here is a worm open, a can of worm open for all of us to say, yay, now pick up one of the worms. So why not?
Yeah. Hi everyone. Welcome to Motivation Corner, and my name is Bulukeng, your favorite host and content creator. Welcome yet to another episode of fulfilling and encouraging, and most importantly, we're having today. If you're here for the first time, do the right thing, subscribe. If you've been returning, do the right thing also. Comment, like, share with your family members and your friends, guys. So thank you for being here. Most importantly, thank you for being here. And today I'm not alone, guys. I had to ask her again. If you remember the conversation we had before, it was it was gelling, guys, and she's just a good conversationalist. So we had a good conversation, and I thought we didn't even touch most of what she does, and which is the most important part of her life, which is what brings bread to her. So we're going to talk all things business with our favorite guest, Ma'am Lindiwe. Welcome, and thank you for being here.
Hi, Bulukeng. Thank you so much for inviting me again, and I'm excited to be here. I believe that we're definitely going to have a beautiful conversation, that people will take some nuggets of what we're going to be talking about. And some of them, they can use them in their own situations, because life is about learning every day.
It is.
So,
life is all about learning, guys. That's why I bring such conversations to you guys, is that we know we cannot get it all. Even people around us cannot give us all the information that we need. That's why I'm like, let me invite those who've been there or those who are there to help us get on with the program. So Thank you again, Mama, for honoring the invite. I always feel privileged, guys, when or people of her caliber, people of her age, honor my invitation. I don't take it for granted, because I believe that this is ordained by God. This is like what's meant to be. And please, guys, get your pens, your journals, and be ready to take notes. Yeah, last time, Mama, we spoke about raising daughters and all that, but it takes money to raise them. I just want to find out, with your career, where did you start? Did you study into business? Since you're a businesswoman, where did you start? Let's take it there from your education side.
Yeah, look, when after 1994, there was a hype in the country about Black people getting opportunities and Black empowerment and making sure, hey, we registered companies.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We registered companies. You had no clue what it's all about. You have no idea what you wanted to do. But look, we all had to be at CICP, register a company just in case. So how it started with me, I mean, at that time I was still in employment, but I couldn't miss the hype.
What were you doing? Sorry.
I think 2010 I was still working in the mining industry. I was working for the one of the big mining industries in Witbank as a superintendent responsible for 5 mining operations. So basically we were on community work within all the areas where the operation was. So, and I was responsible for that at that time. And then you feel the vibe, but company registration then you get into the system. Then I just registered the company 2010, I think it was around October, registered it and I left it there, And obviously, I really never had a thought, Yoguti, I really want to be in business. But you had to fall into the vibe of the time that who knows, you may do it and there might be a breakthrough. So let's do it. So I just registered the business and I let it there and I continued doing work that I was employed to do at the time. And as time goes on, I think I started really working on that business in 2016.
Yeah.
Like to really work on it, do real projects and do big projects. I started working in 2016 and Nakona, I had to do work that I was exposed for the first time. But I'm a believer that you buy skills.
Yeah.
Right? You buy knowledge, you buy. There are people, you outsource. Even at home, they know me. I always say, we buy hands, when there's functions and stuff and they're talking catering. I'm like, I can't cook, so we'll buy hands,
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I'm not going to say no because I know that I can get people who can actually assist me to be able to. It was a research project. It was a research project. It was a big research project. I don't want to talk about it really, but it was a big research project because for over the years, I've always believed that some things need to be kept close,
Yeah.
Not everything needs to be out there because you just never know. What. So I've always kept that here, but it was a beautiful, successful project that I did, and a lot of professional people, professors, engineers got involved in the project to be able to assist me. And it was a success because reports were written on what we were researching about. And then after that, then I, as a social facilitator, there's opportunities that you find in government. Then they're advertising that the social facilitation work, like I think the last project I did on social facilitation was a project in Kangala district where they were building a water reticulation thing, Everina. And they appointed a number of social facilitation companies. We had to be there to be able to help communities understand what the project is all about, how is it going to benefit them, what impact is it going to bring in their communities, and what job opportunities are going to come. So it was a lot of work of social facilitation, and my company was appointed with others that we just have to do that because it's what I love. It was nice. Yeah. We drive, we go down, we do the work, we come back in the afternoon or late at night, we're coming back. But we did all that which we were supposed to do. So that's when then I started really realizing, if I can give myself time and I can give myself an opportunity, there's life in this space. There's endless opportunities in this space because I'm a risk taker. I don't believe that you just have to. I don't know, right?
Yeah. So
you do it not knowing.
Which sorry to take you back.
Yeah.
Which will makes me ask myself.
Yeah.
You were working.
Right.
Then you had to transition into being an employer
Yes.
yourself. What happened? What was the reason? did something push you into coming to business?
Look, work is work, and work can be hectic. Sometimes you come across the bosses that you work with. Sometimes it's irritating. Sometimes you just feel
Toxic.
pushed,
Yeah.
Sometimes you just feel other people are toxic and they translate the toxicity on you. And you're like, really? So for me, it was really a thing. You would saying right. I've been in all industries. I've been with NGOs. I've been in local government. I've been in mining industry. I've worked a bit with ESCOM. You understand? So wow, I felt you've exhausted it. So why not explore other things? And when business opportunities came, I allowed myself to be in the space and actually say, let me go learn something new. Let me go find out what abilities can come out of me, how I can push myself in this space. And that's how I find myself in business.
Or it found you?
Yeah, I think so. You can say that.
Yeah.
That business found me because I just registered a company.
And then later on.
Yeah, later on, I'm looking, hey, everybody, it's a hype. Everybody, they are doing business. So why not? If it's an opportunity opened by the current government that as a Black person, find your space now, get a niche into that, why not? You don't want to regret in few years and say, "Ish, I should have done." So it's better to just get on it. You learn moving because a lot of people have to learn going. We did not know anything about businesses. Those opportunities were not applicable at our times, right? And suddenly here is a worm open, a can of worm open for all of us to say, yay, now pick up one of the worms. So why not?
Yeah.
And I think it was a great risk taking.
But I believe that it like you're saying, it was open for everybody, but not everybody jumped in.
Yes.
What made you jump?
Like the drive. I am a risk taker, and I love to learn new things. I want to put myself into a space where I didn't know. Then I can count and say, wow, the graph was here. Now the graph is here. And the graph keeps on growing, And I just had to allow myself to be that and say, what's there to learn? And because when some of the project I was doing were not far-fetched, I mean, it's almost what I was doing at work, still communicating with communities, now you applying that for yourself in a business state. You understand that you know that you must do your best so that next time when they are looking for the same service provider, your company is on the top list to say, she did a good job, this one.
Yeah, you keep mentioning more about community work. I want to know because it seems like it's your first love, or like something very close to your heart.
Bona.
Let's talk about your first love, which is community work.
Yes.
What do you do?
Yes.
How have you your background with it?
Like I think I was mentioning it somewhere else. I did studies on community development, what they call CTWs now. It is community development workers, right? But my foundation was that I got a scholarship from an NGO, the National Council for Child and Family Welfare. They gave me an opportunity. At that time, I mean, these things were not popular.
Yeah.
NGOs were not popular.
I mean, in your time, they were teachers.
Exactly, precisely. And the National Council for Child and Family Welfare was on a mission to take care of families and children. There was a lot of poverty. There was a lot of malnutrition. So they looked for community development workers that they will send to go do study short courses. And I had a friend who's a social worker, and she was working there, and she actually came and said to me, "Girl, there's an opportunity." I remember Jacqueline was still just a baby, She was not even walking at that time. So I said, why not? I'm looking for a job. There's a baby that I've got to take care of.
Yeah.
So there it was. I went away. I left her with my mom and I went to Ubuntu Social Development Institution to go and study the community development. Wow. In that, it was a purely a 6 months program, but everything was congested into one because there was a need at that time for community development workers, particularly in the NGO world. So they didn't do long courses and stuff like that. And I grabbed that opportunity and I came with flying colors, and the National Council, absorbed me in the system. That was my first employment. I started working with the National Council for Family and Welfare. I loved it. And that's when I knew, actually, I'm called for people, I'm called for women, I'm called for young women, because those would be the groups that you're working with. So that's how everything started with me and my career. I was proudly a community development worker. Then in the year 2000, there was an opportunity opening at Huguenot College in Cape Town. And I thought, why not? I said to my mom, let me go, My mom said, go. I went. That was now a 1-year course. An advanced community development. I went, I arrived there. Wow, I'm the only Black person speaking English. Everybody else is speaking Afrikaans. It's colored and white. You are in a totally foreign space, a pal, right?
Yeah.
I had to adjust. Thank God for my beautiful personality that I can adjust to any person.
Yeah.
And I had to learn Afrikaans. Them, they had to take my modules and go for interpretation at UNISA. Whilst I'm waiting for the modules, I'm studying in Afrikaans. Bought myself an English and Afrikaans dictionary. Bona, once it started rolling, I'm like, academic Afrikaans is so difficult,
Yeah.
And I started learning. The day of graduation, the professors and everybody, but we have never seen such a thing. This girl came here not knowing nothing. Now she speaks Afrikaans fluent. I had no choice. I had a lecturer, Mefros, Dr. Smith. She was female, old, and she was not budging in doing anything in English. She would do it in Afrikaans in her class.
You carry on.
Yeah, I was like, Bona, you'll not defeat me. This is just the language. But this is just the language. It can be learned. And I nailed it, Came back, graduated from that certificate. I came back. I still had that thing opened doors for me. I've been everywhere, Batong. I have just been everywhere, and I have done a great job. When it comes to community development, I am a specialist.
Wow.
When I started working at the municipality in Aboma 2001, I'm the first youth manager at Emalahleni municipality.
Wow.
I had to set up that space to say they wanted to go to youth development. They had to find me because I am the specialist. Youth have got to be developed. And I am the one who started the office at Emalahleni municipality, the first youth manager in
your name
in
engraved today, though.
I suppose that they should, if they know what's good. Yeah, so that's how everything kick-started. But recently, what I keep telling my mom, my great-grandfather was a businessman.
Yeah.
Mkhulu Mhlanga, my mother's grandfather.
Yeah.
In Hendrina, he owned a shop, right, like your tuck shop.
Yeah.
It was a big tuck shop. He was a famous man. He's the first man to own the Ford van. He was a school board in his time.
Wow.
He had friends. Amapun was a Henrina. They were my great-grandfather's friend. When he drives out, we jump into the for me and my sister. We're going with him everywhere. So every day when I go to school, the tuck shop is in the yard. So when you go to school, passing there, I get a new pencil because I always lost my pencils.
Oh.
I had a bully friend who was taking my pencil and putting them in her thing. So every morning, my grandfather gives me a new pencil. Every morning, give a pencil. So I always tell my mom recently, I'm like, somebody in this family has got to raise that.
Yeah.
And I am that person, because I've seen my great-grandfather as a little girl. Actually, and my grandmother was my great-grandmother. Yes, and we were selling the fat cakes.
Yeah.
We were put them in a 5-liter buckets. We must go around and sell the fat cook, and we came back with money. So the entrepreneurial spirit is embedded in me, but I really didn't know at the time because there were no opportunities for. So when this came, I was like, okay, get into the space, occupy. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank
So,
you
yeah.
much. What a great story. So what are you busy with currently?
Yeah, and then in 2000, of course, I worked, and then in 2021, I was requested to come and assist to one of the MECs in Mpumalanga as a chief of staff. I went, I worked, I think I worked for a year, and in 2022, I came back, right? And it was at that stage that I made a decision that I'm not going to full-time employment. I don't want to be bossed around anymore. So, and I had some savings, I had to think out of the box to say, what is it that's sustainable that I can do, that I can begin to build as a legacy, right? And then this young woman told me she was actually already working for a micro lending company, and I spoke to her. How much does it take to invest in a business like that? What are the requirements? And so I remember we had a meeting, a cappuccino, and we were sitting, and she was outlining everything, and I said, I'm in. I want it.
What is it about?
It's lending money to people. It's a small loan. Yeah, babies are micro lending. That means you are doing loans for people who don't qualify in the big five, the banks, right? Remember, there are people who are in credit bureau, there are people who are in debt review, there are people who just can't access a banking institutions. Hence, you see, I need the popular name, Mashonisa. So there's Mashonisa, there are those who are registered, there are those who are not registered, right?
So you are a registered Mashonisa?
Mina, I am a registered financial lender, right? I'm registered with NCR. When you walk into our offices, the certificate is there, right? That shows in Asemnyango, when you walk at the door, this NCR mark is there because that shows your clients, the consumers, that you are a legal entity. You will you're regulated. You will not exploit them because the regulation requires you to work within the regulation, Yeah, so I then registered the business 2022. By May, the registration process was done, right? We started operating in June. We started, having clients coming because this lady I'm talking about had to come and work with me because she knew the business. I had no clue what it was about, right? I depended.
You just
solely
loved the
on
idea and you were
yes,
like,
I was like the
talk about the risk
sustainability.
taker, guys.
Yeah.
Talk about the risk take.
It was a big risk, I don't want to
No,
lie.
it was.
I mean, you're risking your own resources. You're
Because
not
it's
getting
your savings. You're
Yes.
no longer depending, like you're not going to get any other money.
nothing. So if
Mama.
it goes, it's gone.
Yo!
And then you must accept that was the risk that came with it. So, yeah.
Really, like, I'm always fascinated by people like you. I'm like, what's in your heart? You're like, Sizobona phambili.
Kamampela.
Like,
Because
nithini,
fear, otherwise you're allowing the space for fear to trip in and begin to show you limitations, you know,
Because
that
your
you are
faith is
limited.
powerful.
Yeah, you
More
have to
as well.
trust God. You have to say, Lord, if this be in your will, I'm doing it. You understand? Because God is expecting us to occupy. So how are you going to occupy when you operate in fear? You have to step in faith.
Yeah.
Honestly, I stepped into faith here. One, I'm not a financial person. Now you're going to be counting monies, right?
Must balance the sheets.
You must balance that. I have no idea what that is. I have no idea what revenue is, right?
Yeah.
I have no idea
It's tax,
profits. And fortunately, I already had an accountant from the other projects I've been involved with.
Yeah.
And up to today, we still get to have sessions every Monday just to go through things. And she's really empowered me a lot, you know. So fine, I said to this lady, Bona, this is on you.
Run it.
You are going to teach me as we go. So I'll be in the office, you know, like a person who does not know, and then you're reading people's lips as they speak. Yeah, I was like that in my learning. There's the system, they tell you there's a system that you must buy. This system is the one that's going to collect the money, that's going to give the people money. Wow, that's new knowledge, totally new. And I allowed myself to receive all of that. I allowed myself to be at that space of risk. I was like, kunokuthi ngiyoyiqeda ngamancamne le savings yami, I would rather be named but uke waba nale business le, you know. Kunokuthi like I don't know where the money has gone. Right, fortunately I'm not in that ball.
I'm just saying, anything that you know, be your bad
precisely.
Yeah.
So and that was it. And I started understanding that this is no child's play. This is real. This is business, and this is big. You've just gotten into a big space. Yeah, this is a real big space. I remember how last year I was like, Bona, this girl will see what to do. I got occupied.
Dependent.
Yeah, I was honestly dependent. I got occupied with a friend's activities in Hambanai everywhere, busy, but I don't even know what I'm busy with, you know?
With her?
Yes, and I'm not in my business. For a good 5 months, right? A good 5 months, I will just be there. And hey, is everything okay? And I see good, it's doing well because people are borrowing money and they are bringing it back.
You see the finances.
Yes, I see.
There's movement.
No, there's no struggle. Next month, nabafuna enye, we put the money, they borrow people, and that was it. But then I started bordering myself to say, "I girl, you can't be so ignorant. You know, this is dangerous, you know." Then I intentionally started learning the system now. At home at night, I will sit and go into everything. And then I start finding out things. Now it's beautiful because the following day I ask questions. You know, why do I see this number of cards, and why do I see defaults? Why? So now I'm getting to get the business into my system to understand, which, wow, sometimes other people will not pay. Sometimes other people will go at 12 o'clock on the ATM to make sure that they withdraw their money so that you don't get the money. Sometimes other people will reverse the mandates at the bank. And wow. So people can actually come and steal, because I call it stealing, God forbid, right? Because the Bible says you are wicked when you borrow money and you don't return it. You are a wicked person. So there's wicked people, you know, that started not to pay. But steady but surely, I got myself into the nitty-gritties of the business. I started, setting rules because I could see it's an open-ended system. Omunye nomunye wenza the way afuna. Now I'm using my experience, from employment. I need to put systems into place. I need to put boundaries. I really need to start knowing the business for myself because this is my business. This is my brand. This is what I'm invested on. Yeah, I've invested money here. It's nothing that I can just. And when I started getting involved, when I started asking questions, when I started putting strict measures, when I really started asking questions as critical, I think people got frustrated.
Yeah, no.
You know that I don't know anything. Now suddenly I'm starting to ask smart questions. What's with this one, right? Okay, we're going on and I demand and I write emails. I put deadlines. I'm like, I want to know this by that. I want to know this by this time.
Accountability.
I was wrestling the eagle's nest, and I think maybe that was becoming uncomfortable. Then I started getting vibes, the heavy spirit that when you walk in the room, there's that spirit that either people are talking about you or people are planning something that you can't put your finger exactly on. And because I'm a very transparent person, I would constantly reach out and say, Niraiti, is everything still okay? Are we still good? Are you still vested in this? And that's when I learned that people can lie on your face, actually. People can mislead you and make you believe we are with you. We are still on the vision. And they are planning things that you do not know, right? And then, but I'm now becoming happy that, look, I think I'm getting the business, I get the system, and I ask correct questions. I make my lali. I am on the system because the sad thing is that you can't go to another mashonisa and go ask them how they are running their business. The attitude is that you are in it because you know about it. Right?
So there's no mentoring?
No, there's no one you can go and ask. Please share with me, how did you start? What were your struggles? I don't think people who are in this space are open. They think you take their ideas, or I don't believe in people taking ideas.
Yeah.
If the ideas is yours, God has given you that idea. Nobody can take it and implement it.
But anyway, they always say there's nothing new under the sun.
Right?
Your idea, someone might have
exactly, and do it better. Ibile. So yeah, and until we were doing fine, I learned ukuthi around December people but bavala emsebenzini angithi from I was 13, then there must be a tracking because we must still get our money that you borrowed on November pay. So you must pay us. So if you're gonna be paid early, M17, we need to get our money before you go away, before you go home, before you go buy children. Christmas. Also, I start learning all of that. Say, wow, okay, no, cool. And by this year, I think I was on top of my game now, I'm in the business every day. I'm making sure that I'm understanding operations. I'm putting systems into place and I'm making sure that people are accountable. But that vibe still continues. Yabona, I'm like, I make a conversation with my daughters. There is something. I can't really put my finger on it, but there's a change, there's a shift that has happened and I'm not understanding it, but the Lord will reveal it because I believe in God revealing hidden things, Oh, fine. This one Thursday, I'm in the office, but the vibe is still not nice. Then I'm going home. I remember that particular day I was sitting in the car valley, looking at the daily report because you receive a daily report on the activities that had happened, new clients that has come, people that have borrowed money and stuff like that. Voila. Mangithi, after I've read the report, and it's around 6. Mangithi, now there's another email. When I open the email is from the lady that's working for me, and it's the first thing I see, resignation letter. I slowly went out of the car. I found my daughter at the garage. We have a couch at the garage. So I sit there. I was numb before I even opened that letter. So I opened it. And the letter is telling me that I'm resigning. Was it with immediate effect, I think? And I'm like, wow, this girl, she was still teaching me stuff. How do you dump me like that? I've never felt so numb in a long time. I felt numb. I felt like everything was crashing down, crumbling. I saw my investment gone, right? I saw this business just gone. This is not going to happen because this
your
girl
pillar.
is my everything, and now, and I'm still sure today that she knew it, that I was dependent on her. But thank God that I don't look at human beings. I always love efficiencies, that we're not wrestling with flesh and blood, but principalities and authorities. So I could tell that the enemy think he can get me on this one. Oh, he should just ask how many battles I have been in and the Lord pulled me out. This will be nothing, man. I crumbled for that moment. I was frustrated. I was all things. But one thing that happened, I tap into my emotional intelligence and made sure I'm not going to make that call. No matter how much my everything was saying, make a call and tell her how.
Out.
Yeah, I was like, you not. I left that garage. I went straight into my bedroom. I sat, still numb. I was like, Lord, what is happening? What is happening, Holy Spirit? What is this? Is this your will? What is happening? Nothing. Then, after 10, 15 minutes, I suddenly got an idea. I'm an employer, remember? I don't yet have HR policies to tell me, well, how do you deal with resignation, right? I don't. I don't have.
What was this? This not.
Girl,
you're only interested in receiving money.
Born, not even. That's not even my motivation, kabang. But I have never, like I'm telling you, my previous business was projects, right? Now we are in a full-time business. These things need to be in place. Wow. And I decide to take my phone and I open Google. I ask Google, how do you deal with an employee resigning with immediate effect? Wow, that thing empowered me. I think there was about 11 points. And one of the most important point that gave me the greatest calmness was that don't personalize it. Don't be personal about it. When a person said they are leaving, don't be personal. Then I remembered a lot of pastors and bishops preaching that they say, when people leave you, let them leave. Right?
Let them go.
Exactly. Just let them go. I got calmed by just reading through that article. That's when I started realizing, wow, girl, you don't know much about the space that you are in. You don't even know Tilwanjani, employees, But all said, by the time I was going to bed, I literally screamed in tears. I screamed, that deep groaning cry. That's what I did. And in the midst of that, the Holy Spirit stepped in and said, you see, the same level of trust you had on that girl, I want you to trust me. wow, what a snap on my face, Holy Spirit.
When you fully comfort.
Bandla.
This is like, no, not
What?
today.
I just wanted to show you the power you have. I mean, you are capable of trusting.
Trust. Yeah.
Now imagine if you can translate that and trust me. Ukuthi what's going to happen? Yo, yangivuse empeteni ngahlala ngizibuna. I was like, wow, you have a very funny sense of humor, Holy Spirit. But I was able to sleep on that night. I slept like there was no problem. In the morning, I arose, I prepared myself, I went into the office, I placed my things as usual, my laptop, everything. I was here. And I called her. I said, come, let's do reconciliation, right? We did reconciliation. Like my day was normal until at the end of the task for the day. Then I said, can we talk? What a shock. Why are you choosing to shock me? But I'm calm. I feel the expectation was that I was gonna be on top of the roof. I was gonna insult, or I was ngiyamthanda umoya oyingcele. Akunamuntu engimthanda njengomoya oyingcele emhlabeni. Uzolivalile imi lakho shem. I was calm and I asked. Then eventually I said, look, I will never stand on your way. If you feel it's time for you to exit in the way that you are exiting with, and you are saying the business is ready, you feel that it can survive, I take your word because you know better than I do. But what you must know about me, I don't give up. If the intention is to break me to the point of giving up, no, I'm going to master this thing. I've mastered Afrikaans in my lifetime, but, And then I said to her, but can you at least transition properly, right? Don't just exit like that. Take me through some of the things you had not shown me so that I'm not blank as you leave. I'm bleeding. It's painful. Phakathi. That's when I know I'm resilient. You can't break me. No. Who am I, Ganti? Whose am I? Right? I was like, and smoothly. Unfortunately for her, immediately after the process, the resignation was like today. And then she requested that she wants to go home. And then when she was home, because her dad was sick, her father passed away on that Monday, and that means she must be home the whole week. Now I'm left with the other, and this one, I'm mhlambe bekana 9 months asebenza nathi, So I'm left with her as if it was not enough. Now she comes, she tells me she's resigning. Now dealing with you, the team is gone. So can you see the plan of the enemy?
Yeah.
Right? I started to see, this is the business of the enemy. And I'm going to be...
no longer personal, really with them.
Yes. I'm not
beyond.
going to look at them. I'm going to look at what the devil is trying to do here.
Yeah.
And I cannot recount enough how much that attitude helped me. That attitude made me to stand strong, to translate the trust and say, Lord, it's up to you now. If I must be embarrassed, that's on you. If I must break and the business closes, that's up to you. But I'm going to trust you to teach me. I'm going to trust you to teach me, And that was it. And I got new people, got them on the system. Bona, never think now I'm smarter. And I actually, on the day she was leaving, I said, you know what? Thank you. Thank you for doing it that way. Because Bona, I wouldn't have known a number of things. Thank you for pushing me to the destiny. You pushed me out of my comfort zone into the space where I have to take ownership. And the rest is history. I've got 2 guys who join me, a lady and a gentleman. We are a great team. I'm in control.
Yeah.
I mean, but my last week we were on workshop because I'm studying now. I got accepted with a program called Women Creating Wealth under the Grasa Machel Trust. Right? I'm the program beneficiary. Yellow. It's beautiful. It's varsity grade, the work that we are doing. It teaches you from leadership to self-mastery. It teaches you marketing to sales, everything. Everything is a full package. Innovation, it teaches you about your staff, communication. The modules are just too beautiful. If you see me in Tambama, Chick was telling me the other day, Mama mehlo wakho awulali wena ngithi an average adult must sleep 6 hours man.
Yeah.
If I sleep 4 is enough. Ngilalisa ini umsebenzi umningi.
The opportunities.
I don't sleep because I'm pushing. They've told us that you can graduate manje on November. So me and my accountability partner Uzama, we like as push. So we almost finishing the scale up part of it. Then we're moving to the next level. So it's beautiful. I'm really in control of the business. I've appointed a labor net. They are working. He should be knowing them. The labor net, they do all your HR policies, your labor, everything. When it comes to SARS, I'm compliant because I have Uzama that has always made sure that my business complies. So, and let me not paint it as something easy. Ne? It is not easy to run this kind of business. It's not easy. It's the most difficult.
Like any other business.
Yeah, it's a very difficult space where you're not necessarily gonna see your profit with immediate effect. You understand? And you're rotating the money because there's new clients. The money must still borrow those who are new. So before you are going to see the real effect of it, you have to be patient. So I believe that the Lord is teaching me patience because I'm definitely not a patient person. I am not a patient person. I don't like slowness. So maybe God is just saying to me, you're at the right place where I'm going to teach you what waiting means, where I'm going to teach you what process means, where I'm teaching you what progress is going to mean for you. And I think the other day I posted on my WhatsApp to say, I put a picture of me in the office and I just love the way the Holy Spirit is teaching me the business because that's what is happening. It's wisdom all the way. And I believe when you have got the right people and they find you now knowing what you are doing, who you are steering the ship. You are the one steering the ship. And I'm constantly reminding myself that, yes, I have to trust them as my team, but I have to trust myself more and trust God even more, because I can't do the same mistake twice.
Yeah.
I mean, the voice was very clear.
Yeah, I've always, I think I did a video that rejection, it's not the end, it's redirection.
Precisely.
Look how far you are now.
I believe that.
You are stronger. Nothing can break you now. You know your way around the business.
Yeah.
So
of course, it's a learning process every day. I mean, the other day, I attended a conference that exposed me now to how massive this thing and how many people in South Africa are in. It was a massive conference. And in that conference, you're still learning stuff you did not know, right? You're learning about the FICA that I did not know. You have to qualify with FICA. You have to comply with FICA. Is another, and you immediately have got to work on that because there are penalties. There's all sorts of things. I learned this Bosakra. Wow. So the industry is big.
if she never left, or you didn't feel the tension?
I would
You
still be
wouldn't
just relaxed and be okay with the mediocre of thinking it's okay to just get 100,000,
Yeah.
or 50,000 every month, as long as the money is just. I wouldn't have known.
As long
I
as you're
wouldn't
able
have.
to pay bills, you're like,
Yes,
okay.
yes. As long as the company costs are being paid, we are okay. Now I got an opportunity to be accepted at the TechnoServe Mpuma Bees program, which we are graduating manje on November, and then I got accepted at the WCW program. That is God just preparing me and teaching me the stuff about the business, the real things,
And Mama, I just want to highlight the fact that you still, okay, you are this old and you still have the zeal to learn. You still have, when we talk about education at work, I'm like, I need to study something that is going to give me money. At this rate, I don't want anything, any qualification. At least it must be something that is going to get me into finances. But that is very lovely that even in your age, you still getting into programs and learning. How do people get into these programs? Is it because of your business or anyone?
No, it was on social media. They advertise everywhere. Curiosity doesn't always kill a cat,
Okay.
So I got curious. I was like, what's this? And then I open, then it's a Google form. You just feel. And I wasn't even trusting it. It was authentic, And the next thing I receive a confirmation email to say, congratulations, you have been accepted. I'm like, wow. So yeah. And I think this is the same conversation I was having this afternoon with another young woman that's in my circle, to say, this is what I constantly tell you young people, that if I can be ambitious at my age, you don't have an excuse. I tell my daughter, right, that if I am still this ambitious, all I'm asking from the Lord is good health. Lord makes make my muscles and everything to be strong, and I can go far with so many things. So I think it's also because I grew up being an ambitious person. I grew up being a go-getter. I grew up being a risk taker. I grew up, Mina, I was curious. I got in the struggle because of curiosity. You understand? So everything for me is let's see, where is it going to take us? And I have never been disappointed about the risks that I take and where they take me. Instead they open bigger things that I did not even think. So it's always important that you position yourself for risking. Ngasabi, don't allow fear to be the master. Just tell yourself,
just go for it.
As a child of God, man, you can't.
I remember listening to Tibo Touch. They were interviewing at Bumile Doba's podcast, and he tried to have what do we call a radio, internet radio.
Okay,
like
yes,
that time
yes.
Before it was this popular,
Right.
And it didn't go well. He said he had spent around 30 million,
Right.
and we kept on asking, how are you feeling? And it's like, that was my fee.
Yeah.
I had to pay 30 million to learn.
Yes.
So you had to pay we can say, for lack of better word, betrayal or being dropped,
rejection.
It was a fee.
Precisely.
So that you had to learn.
And the prospects are there. God doesn't dump people like people dump other people. God is the God that picks you up, and put you on a spectacular. And I think that time is still gonna come.
Yes, okay, just a few things. From being an employee to doing community work and being in business, what have you learned, Nje, with people as a whole? Utabantu banjani?
Yeah.
Can you trust people? How do you deal with human beings, Nje?
I always look at it and say, Yabona, if there's one master, it's God. This God is so big that when he says he knows the number of hairs in our head, it's because he's created each and every one of us unique and he knows the evil that is in us and the good that is in us. So as you live in this life, that's the kind of life you're going to come across. You can't paint all human beings with the same brush. Sometimes you come across people who just take out the best and you're like, wow, there's human beings like these. Then so I guess if we want to learn about good and evil, it's all around us, and it's within human beings, because you can give them whatever. You can give them your heart in their hand, they will still crush it, right? Now, in my walk of life with all these experiences, I have learned ukuthi vele the only person to trust in this life is God. Because isiZulu esithi ukuthemba umuntu, ungathemba ilitshe kunokuthi uthemba umuntu, because ilitshe ungalibeka la uzolithola la futhi. Yeah, understand? So you learn ukuthi there's different types of people. You can never control people. You can never change them if they don't want to change. You can never make them to be who they can potentially become if they have not decided, because we decide to either flow with evil or flow with goodness. All of it is in our decision making. That I know that there's evil in me, but I don't want to be known for evil. I want people to know me as a warm person. Yeah. I want people to know me as an embracing person, a loving person. You choose that. But if you choose to be nasty as well, that's it. When for every word that comes out of you, it hurts people. That means you have decided, because that's intentional, So I have really learned to embrace all kind of people. I have even taught my children and a lot of my family people, don't despise anyone. And it will be God coming, camouflaging, umfana wempinch. Give him the bread as well, so that you understand Noguti, people belong to God. Yeah. God created all of us. Yeah. We don't own no one. We don't know no one. We experience each other. I'm experiencing you. You're experiencing me. He's experiencing me. So it's an experience, and it's part of the journey. And along the path, because it has not been spelled out for us, ukuthi uyohlangana nabo bani in your path, right? So it's part of the journey. They betray you, it's part of the journey. They reject you, it's part of the journey. You just have to accept it like that, so that I will be in stress. Yeah.
No, before see Phakathi, I hear you don't really dwell into finances, into money. You even said you're okay with receiving the 50, the 100,000. And while still talking, you mentioned something like money was not even the main goal. So how does money mean for you in business and you as a person?
Look, I believe that money is energy, right? Money is energy, and money is liquid, right? If you're going to take money and make it your inspiration, then you are in a wrong. Your reason for being in that space is wrong. Your motivation is wrong. Motivation must always be about serving others, right? We are serving people who don't necessarily qualify to receive access to banking, right? Those are our clients. When we treat them with love and care, and we empower them to understand responsible lending, we are empowering them to understand what a contract means. So I'm still doing community development, basically, literally, just in a different space, the financial space, understand? So I always say to people, God has given me an opportunity to touch money, right? And before he did that, he prepared me. That is why when I receive more than what I could handle under normal circumstances, nobody knew that. No, nobody.
What do you do?
No, nobody. Because God prepared me. Remember, when you are a child of God, you must not be an embarrassment.
Yeah.
When God bless you, you thinking it's your own strength, it's your own doing. Yeah, and you still remain humble because you understand that it was God who opened this door. It was God who opened the door. It's not by mighty, it's not by power, but it's by the Spirit of God. So if God has entrusted you with money, you understand that's a huge responsibility. And money is energy. And it's not and when I say it's not about money, when you create wealth, wealth is not money. No, wealth is not money. Wealth is assets. Wealth is legacy. Wealth is impact. Wealth is influence. And that's my philosophy, that I'm in this space of business, that I may impact life, that I may influence policy, I may influence laws, that I can build and create a legacy for generations and generations to come after me. Because if I can be driven by the fact that, no, I just want to make money, then your heart is not in the right space. You can exploit people, you can treat people bad, because if they don't pay you, kipabola kasha, you go, and there are decent ways how we collect our debts from people. There are professionals who are able to do that. You appoint them, they do that. You understand? So I'm honestly, money for me is not a driving force. It has never been. Even when I was employed, I knew I still know how to live within my means. Because the danger about putting money is that then you're going to pressurize yourself.
Yeah.
Right? If money has not come, then what? Right? If you can't be able to pay certain things, then what? Then you go from this bank to that bank trying to get money to fill the gap that you are pressurizing yourself. So it's no pressure. It's all about service. It's all about creating wealth. It's all about impact. It's about influence. It's really about legacy. Somebody was asking me, now, if your daughter is not interested in this business, now, who are you building the business for?
Yeah.
I'm like, she's got children. She's still going to have other children. Sbatle is the CEO of MCT Financial Lending. And I'm training her that now, the language, because that's the opportunity we did not have. Yeah. Right? As much as I had a great-grandfather who was in business, but I never knew anything about his business. So I'm in business now. I have an opportunity to influence my granddaughter to understand that she can be that. You understand, when she decides going to school and studying, it's for me to really see if she's got the interest, channel her. Sparkle has got a spark box. Yesterday she was telling me, Bibi, my mom has not been giving me money for my savings. Right? Because I tell her all the time, that's how you begin to create your own wealth, Nana. Not every cent that comes is free be consumed. Yeah. You run, let's go to Chekasi. I want to buy whatever. No, learn to save. And all of us need to teach children about saving at this age. Because this is sithi cultural semanzi. Waze angafundi power yemali ungakamredirectanga yona. It's done. You not got it right again. So I'm happy with the work that I'm doing with my granddaughter and the legacy that I'm building. She's there. If she's interested, it will be there. Otherwise, you will stop not doing things because people are not interested.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you do what needs to be done.
And legacy is still about you anyway, even if they continue, but everybody will still say Lindiwe Phakathi.
Precisely. I've always, over the years, I've built my name and I still maintain it. Yeah. That when you say Lindiwe Phakathi, people know who Lindiwe Phakathi is. There are things I don't do because I don't want to ruin my name. I don't want to ruin my surname, right? I believe my surname is a very impactful surname. So there are things I will never do because I'm protecting what people have always known Lindiwe Phakathi for.
Okay, In closing, 3 nuggets or 2 nuggets for people in business who are feeling like it's not happening as they wish. What can you say to them?
Find your correct why, right? Why are you in it? Once you understand the why is what's going to make you rise even if when you fall, right? Your why is what's going to make you get up ebusuku when the concept come and you're going to get in and do your why is everything. And if your why is not only monetary inspired, that why is what's going to make your business stand all the time, because business is up and down and the markets are changing, So if your why is firm, you will still stand in the midst of COVID. You will still stand in the midst of whatever other things that will come along the way, because your why is firm. We rise and fall. And business is a catch-26. Tomorrow it's high. Tomorrow the interest rate is dropped to 16 rand, 16 rand 90. Wow, yeah, then we are making money. We understand. The following day, it's 18 rand 90. And then the market are changing because the president has spoken wrong or somebody has done something, then the market is angry and the markets are dropping. It affects your business.
The way it's so emotional.
Yeah.
Any last words, Mama?
Look,
said mouthful.
I like what I posted today.
Yeah.
I did a clip on Instagram.
Yeah, I meant to watch it. I saw it.
Yes, and the clip was saying, what did you say to yourself today? Right? There's mirrors everywhere. When you look at yourself in the mirror, what do you speak to yourself about? So my last word is to say that, Bona, get into the habit of having conversations with you. Speak positive, speak good, bless yourself, affirm yourself. Bona, say all good things. I mean, I did that today through that video, and I had the most beautiful day. I had the most flourishing day. Not that I did anything, but the conversation I was having was so fulfilling. Like, it was so fulfilling. And the task I needed to do, I needed to fix some things. Kamaspala for my mom. But those ladies, I knew them. And there was conversations there. They were able to assist me fast. But they were able, because my energy was correct. Yeah, my aroma was correct because I spoke to myself. When people say, wow, awufuna ukuguga, hey, umuhle, I've already told myself that. Exeni Jackie and my helper can tell you, I stood there and I said, girl, you look gorgeous. You look really good, gorgeous today. So yeah, I think let's get into the habit of just affirming ourselves and always just speak positive things to yourself. Stop criticizing yourself. Stop helping the enemy to condemn yourself, because there is no more condemnation to those who are in Christ Jesus.
Yeah. Thank you, Mama, for your time. Thank you for always giving us time to talk to us.
Thank you so much.
If we need anything, we know the door is open. Thank you. Right. I really, really appreciate you, and it's great to know you and all the calls that I can make to you.
Right.
Like, thank you so
much. I also appreciate
it. Media, thank you so much.
Yeah.
From me and Bethany Media, we're saying bye. Thank you.